Imagine waking up one morning and your phone feels strangely light. There's a sense that something is missing, but you can't quite put your finger on it yet. You reach for your usual Instagram scroll, but the app is gone. Poof, vanished. No notifications, no endless feed, just an empty space where your favorite icons used to be. You check Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok, all gone. It's not just you, it's everyone. Globally, social media has disappeared overnight. What would you do? Would you panic, or feel a strange sense of relief? For many of us, the first few hours might feel like a tech detox. Remember life before we were glued to our screens? Suddenly there's time to notice the world around you, to reconnect with people face to face, or simply enjoy a quiet moment. But for billions worldwide, social media isn't just about selfies and sharing memes. It's their connection to family across continents, their news source, their business platform, even their voice to the world. It's how they stay informed, how they earn a living, and how they express themselves. This sudden silence would be deafening. The absence would echo in our daily routines, leaving many feeling isolated or lost. Think about the millions who rely on social media for their livelihood. The influencers, the small businesses, the artists who found their audience online. Their entire way of working would be upended in an instant. What happens when their virtual storefront vanishes overnight? How do they reach customers, share their work, or build a community without these platforms? This isn't just about losing likes, it's about losing livelihoods. The ripple effects would touch every corner of society, changing the way we connect, work, and share our lives. The initial shock wouldn't be just individual, it would be global. In an instant, billions would realize something was wrong. Not just a glitch, but a silence spreading everywhere, all at once. The world would pause, united in confusion and disbelief, as the digital heartbeat of daily life suddenly stopped. News outlets used to instant updates and trending topics would grapple with an information vacuum. Journalists would scramble for answers, unable to verify facts or reach sources online, while TV anchors tried to fill airtime with speculation and uncertainty. Businesses built on targeted ads and influencer marketing would face a black hole where their customer base used to be. Marketing teams would be left guessing, unable to reach audiences or measure impact, while influencers watched their platforms go dark overnight. Imagine the customer service lines. With online help suddenly gone, people would flood phone lines and in-person offices, desperate for answers and support, overwhelming systems not designed for this scale of crisis. Millions globally would be scrambling, thinking their internet broke or their phone malfunctioned. Frustration would mount as people rebooted devices, checked connections, and searched for explanations that simply weren't there. The disappearance of social media wouldn't just be an inconvenience, it would be a digital earthquake, sending ripples of confusion and chaos across every industry and time zone. Emergency meetings would be called, but answers would be few and far between. And what about the everyday user? For many, the sudden silence would feel surreal, as if the world had lost its voice. The college student who hadn't exchanged numbers with classmates, relying on group chats to stay connected, would find themselves cut off, unable to reach friends or organize their day. The family separated by borders, relying on video calls to see their loved ones, would suddenly face a wall of silence, their only window to each other abruptly closed. The feeling wouldn't just be of disconnection, it would be of isolation, of losing a lifeline to the world as they knew it. In that quiet, the true weight of our digital dependence would become impossible to ignore. Let's talk money. The global economy is deeply intertwined with social media. Billions of dollars in advertising revenue would evaporate overnight. Influencers who built empires on sponsored posts would see their income streams dry up. Small businesses that relied on social media marketing would struggle to reach customers. The impact would be immediate and brutal. Imagine the stock market crash as tech giants like Meta or Facebook see their value plummet. Think about the ripple effect on marketing agencies, app developers, even the freelance photographers and writers who relied on the gig economy fueled by social media. This wouldn't just be a tech industry problem, it would be a global economic crisis. Governments would be forced to intervene to stabilize markets and provide relief. The question wouldn't be if the economy would recover, but how and at what cost. Beyond the economics, there's the human cost. For many, especially young people, social media is more than just an app. It's their community, their support system, their way of understanding the world. This sudden silence could be deafening. Imagine the anxiety of not knowing what your friends are doing, the fear of missing out, FOMO, magnified 1,000 times. For those struggling with mental health issues, social media might be their only outlet, their connection to support groups and resources. This digital disappearance could really exacerbate feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and depression, particularly in a world already grappling with a mental health crisis. The need for mental health support and resources would be greater than ever. But humans are adaptable. Where there's a void, someone will try to fill it. In the absence of mainstream social media, new platforms would emerge, maybe prioritizing privacy or community building over data mining and algorithms. Picture underground networks, encrypted messaging apps, and private forums popping up like digital mushrooms. People would find ways to connect, to share information, to rebuild their digital communities, even if it meant going off the grid. This digital exodus could lead to a more fragmented internet, with pockets of communities operating under different rules and norms. Governments and tech companies would be in a constant race, trying to regulate and control the flow of information in this new, decentralized digital landscape. So what happens next? When the digital noise fades and the constant stream of notifications suddenly stops, how do we fill the silence? Would this forced digital detox lead to a renaissance of face-to-face interaction, where laughter and real connection replace emojis and instant messages? Would families gather around board games instead of scrolling through their phones at the dinner table, rediscovering the simple joys of being present with one another? Would we rediscover the lost art of conversation, learning to listen deeply and share stories without the filter of a screen? Or would the void left by social media lead to further isolation, with people retreating into their own digital echo chambers, struggling to find new ways to connect? Would we see a rise in loneliness, a decline in empathy, as we lose those digital threads that, however flawed, connected us to the wider world? Would some feel left behind, unable to bridge the gap between online and offline life? The disappearance of social media would be a global experiment, forcing us to confront our dependence on technology and reevaluate how we connect with each other. It would challenge us to rebuild our communities, one conversation at a time. Would we emerge from this digital detox stronger, more connected, and more human, finding new meaning in real-world relationships and shared experiences? Or would we be left longing for the digital comfort of likes, shares, and that familiar scroll, missing the virtual communities we once took for granted?